And it's so funny how immigration is demonized in our nation right now under the term illegal. But the actual underpinnings of why you have illegal immigration are never really discussed, right? This so-called illegal immigration is one of the economic engines of our nation. If you got rid of every single illegal immigrant right now, you would actually have a worse economic crisis in America. Any significant economist will tell you this. It's just a numbers thing. And but what happens is, because we don't want to have the serious conversation, the hard conversation of maybe giving people the ability to come back and forth to do work and go home and come back in and out of the nation, we talk illegal immigration that enables companies to have people come in and work below market value and not really have rights that can be protected. And there you have it. The United States is not suffering the way some of these other countries are coming because immigrants are replenishing our country. That's actually the way things are supposed to work. But we don't harness it. We don't leverage it. We marginalize them because we think they're taking our jobs. Most people in this room and most people that you know don't want to do the kind of jobs most illegal immigrants do. That's the reality. If I were to make an economic proposition, I'm part of this fellowship that gives us opportunity to actually go and be with leaders in different arenas to learn about subjects. And it's a fellowship funded by a Mexican billionaire to find some talented young people from throughout our hemisphere. And basically they put you in until you're 43. So I've been in for 2 years. I have 8 more years to go. And they introduce us to leaders of different nations. You know, we always go with Inter-American Development Bank. We go to their meetings, and we met the President of Colombia, the former President of Colombia, Mexican finance minister, got to go and sit down and hear Bill Clinton talk about this and that, have private meetings with the head of the IDB bank, all of this crazy stuff, which is why I think a lot about economics, because I'm studying it as part of my training, so to speak. One of the most interesting things that was said, we had a session with the American ambassador to Mexico, in Mexico City back in March. One of the most interesting things he said is like, you know what would be a great solution to the outsourcing of jobs from the United States? Would be if the United States and Mexico created a program that allowed for the flow of labor between the societies and actually started creating jobs that they were going to send away, do them here in Mexico, and have different kinds of community relationships for factories here in the US and factories in Mexico. And the reason you would do that is because the Mexican economy is actually closely tied to ours. So if you send a job to India, it may not return a certain measure of value back to the American economy. But if you sent the job to Mexico or had a Mexican worker do it in Iowa, it actually does contribute to that local economy. Now it sounds crazy. People get pissed off. They don't want to do it. But learning to deal with our immigration situation will be a major force in helping us to support our country as a whole. The United States has got a very large number of young people in it today that are not getting the resources they need to thrive because older people are frankly too caught up in their preconceived notions and their existing orthodoxies to really seek solutions. And sadly, a lot of those people will be gone, and we will suffer the consequences someday of our failure to invest in ourselves just because so-and-so doesn't speak as good English yet. I'm an immigrant. English is not my first language. I defy anyone to show that I'm not a contributor to the benefit of this society.